Okay, my name's Zakashi, guys, and in this video here we're going to be doing a best teams and equipments for the new Legends Limited Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Now I know a lot of people will be summoning for this guy, and his animations were completely selling me, I'm not gonna lie. And his kit itself does look really good, so for you guys to get prepared, as I'm recording this before he comes out, but this will still be useful after he comes out. And you should also expect that they drop some equipments because a lot of things will be changing. For example, there's going to be a bonanza going on, which means that it's easier for you to upgrade your equipments. There's going to be quality of life updates, which makes it easier for you to upgrade your equipments. And they also spoke about a new event coming out in the reveals and stuff, so you should expect in general they at least awaken 1 or 2 equipments and possibly release some new equipments, also considering there's going to be a new PvP season. But that's enough talking about Broly. Let's get into the best teams and equipments that you can build for this guy here. Alright, so the first team we're going to be looking into is Powerful Opponent, and for this team I specifically decided to triple Zenkai buff the new Broly. So on leader slot we're running Ultra Golden Frieza, and the reason he's on leader slot is because of the Z abilities that we're getting from the 3 Zenkai buffs. So you can see it's kind of random. We've got Super Saiyan 3 Goku, we've got 8 Vegeta, and we've also got Janemba. Now what's good about this trio is that Janemba, I believe he buffs sagas from the movies and regen, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Then over here we got 8 Vegeta, who I believe buffs Saiyans and then also Powerful Opponent. Let me just check that. You see Saiyans and Powerful Opponent. Then over here we got Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who specifically buffs Red, which is for Broly, and then here it's Red Saiyan. So this Z ability is the only one you'll be missing out for the next person we're gonna add on to the next player that we're going to be adding. So obviously Broly is going to be the other option, but there's a third slot, and for the third slot the closest I can get was Super Baby 2 while still Zenkai buffing Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, but everybody getting as much Z abilities around, and Golden Frieza's on the leader slot, so he gets everything. So the 2 missing slots would be the new Broly and also Super Baby 2, because Super Baby 2 is a powerful opponent. He's also a regen, he's also a Saiyan. He has like every tag in the world. If I show you, let me actually change this to powerful opponent. Oh, I didn't even change it, I'm an idiot. Alright, powerful opponent, and then just make sure my settings are correct. Take off the acquired. There we go. So we got him down here. You can see he has every single tag, and he's really good if you have him higher than like a 9 stars or higher. I think he'd be super good, but he's still good lower than that, maybe at like 6. But obviously this isn't the only team you could build, depending on if you're changing the bench or not. I wouldn't actually advise running a triple bench like this where I'm running triple Zenkai buffs. I'd say only go for like 1, and then you could fix it otherwise. So I'd actually choose 8 Vegeta out of all of those 3. So you're giving Broly a Zenkai buff here, you put Super Baby 2 here, then you can decide the 2 Zenkai buffs here. So for example, someone that is going to be used a lot nowadays is this yellow Broly, because he's a HP buffer for powerful opponent, and then he's also going to be Zenkai buffing Super Baby 2. So if you want to put him on, if you want to run Super Baby 2, then you could also Zenkai buff Golden Frieza. That should go without saying. I'd say the best option is probably Jiren, because Jiren's Z ability is going to buff everybody on the team. Even though it's blast based, the Zenkai buff is what you need for Golden Frieza, so he's also getting something. And then if the whole team is also powerful opponent, you don't need to necessarily have Golden Frieza on the leader slot, which could allow you to actually change your Z abilities around as well. But let me just show you some other options in general for what you could run, bench options, etc, etc. So if we're going into the blues options, you've got Janemba. I'd recommend at least 8 stars or nothing. We got the blue Broly here. He's actually a decent pick, I'm not going to lie to you. Then looking at the other blues, Kid Buu is probably the best option, even though he's a range type. He's really good. But just remember, like, if you're running a character that's range type, for example, Kid Buu carries 2 blasts, Broly's going to be melee orientated, so it might not mesh well. We've got this blue Broly here. He doesn't get cover null very easily, but he is oppressive if you let him work up, so you could run a possible double Broly. Going into greens now, let me just check the ones I don't have. Omega Shenron, of course, but remember again, he's a range type. And then based on the cards he's carrying, what I just explained, your Broly's a melee type, so you might not want to run him together. And any of the other greens, potentially Majin Buu Evil, just to absorb some hits, could actually be a good option. He carries 1 of each, and he's a defense type, so it would actually mesh if you wanted to run him. Going into purples, Golden Frieza should be your #1 pick. That should go without saying. Nappa and Vegeta are an option, but I wouldn't actually recommend them. Let me actually see their Z abilities, because I haven't checked them out. Do they buff powerful opponent? They should do. Yeah, they do buff powerful opponent and Saiyan, so it's going to work out. Maybe this Broly could make a comeback. I think he could get a plat, and he would be super tanky, a good addition to run with a red unit, because, you know, reds would protect purples because of yellows against them. So they'll be like a good team together. Going into the yellows, maybe Ultra Kid Buu at 14 stars. Anyone I don't have, already spoke about Super Baby 2. Nah, that's about it. If it's not Super Baby 2, Yellow Broly maybe, and Ultra Kid Buu are like high stars. 10, 12, 14, I'd say. And then for red, we're obviously considering Broly. So you wouldn't really need another red. But say if you wanted to run double red, Corrupted Zamasu is probably your second best pick. He's actually super good and he's melee oriented, which meshes perfectly alongside Broly. And I think that's about it. Maybe Super 17, but even then the red options are not that great. So yeah, that's going to be powerful opponents. I think powerful opponents is going to be super dangerous, especially if you're headlining Ultra Golden Frieza, because the comeback ability is absolutely insane. Super Baby 2 combo breaking potential, and you've got Broly to go crazy. You've got a HP buff with the new Yellow Broly. So it's really working well for powerful opponents. They've been getting shadow buffs, and they deserve it somewhat. So yeah, that's the first team we're mentioning. We've got powerful opponents. The second and the last team I'm going to be showing is Sagas from the movies. Now, before I just continue with Sagas from the movies, possibly a Saiyan team could also work well, but you're going to have to consider the equipment a lot more. And I'm thinking Sagas from the movies and powerful opponents would only be the two teams because of the how the equipment mesh well very easily. So depending on who you're running, you could obviously work him on a leader slot team or something like that. But I think it's more ideal to stick to his tag simply because of the equipment argument. But here we're talking about movies, so let's go to the character list first and actually change the filter. Take this off, then you have to go to episode for movies, Sagas from the movies, and just keep it like that. So when we go into the character list, I can easily show you what I'm thinking here. But if we look at the team here, you can see everything off the leader slot is going to be powerful opponent. The leader slot, we got Gogeta. Simply because this Broly here, who's a HP buffer, doesn't actually buff anything but powerful opponent. So Gogeta's not going to get that. So you have Gogeta on the leader slot. Ultra Golden Frieza is going to be getting 25% of his Ultra ability. His Ultra ability is based on powerful opponents, and he gets 5% damage inflicted if he's not on the leader slot for every powerful opponent, including himself. Gogeta is not a powerful opponent, so he's only going to get to 25 of the damage inflicted and key recovery. Here we have a Zenkai buff for everybody on the team, so except obviously Gogeta, because this guy's a HP buff. He's super important to have. Such a shame, but it is what it is. We've got this Zenkai buff here for Golden Frieza, because Golden Frieza is also movies, so that works there. Then we've got Janemba over here as a Zenkai buffer for Broly, of course. But you don't have to use Janemba. You could also use 8 Vegeta, who's not on the movies roster, but I just tried to keep it completely movies since it's movies, but it's basically powerful opponent bench. But the main three you're going to be running are movies. Now let's look at the movies options outside of the ones that I have. So for the blue option, you got the Broly, similar to powerful opponents. You got Ultra Janemba, 10 stars or higher, please, maybe 8. Broly over here, the Zenkai Legend Limited one. He doesn't have a lot of cover now, I always have to mention that, but if he builds up, he's actually super good. Going further, going into the greens, God Goku. Now, God Goku is good because he has endurance, but he is easily the worst anniversary unit that they released. And that's not to say he's completely bad, but comparatively, it's shocking, you know? His ultimate does hit hard, he does block AoE greens, and he does have explosive green himself and endurance. But like, it's not the best option. I wouldn't even run a green if it was me personally, but if you have God Goku, you can run him. Other than that, Dragon Fist is going to be getting a Zenkai. Don't sleep on him. Dragon Fist is going to be getting Zenkai. Make sure to run his Plat, and as a Zenkai, he'll probably be pretty good as well. Then if not, Pycon for the Revival Layer or Orange Piccolo. Going into purples, let me see who I don't have. Ultra Broly. Hopefully he gets a unique in the future, but I'm not going to mention him for now. Golden Frieza is obviously your main man, that should go without saying. Going into the yellows, Gogeta Blue is going to be your main man. Some people try to run Gold Tanks because he has endurance, but I wouldn't recommend. And this yellow Broly could be used, but again, I wouldn't necessarily recommend. Gogeta is going to be clear of all the yellow options. Then for red, it should go without saying you're using Broly. So that's all the options for Broly pretty much. That's how the team's going to run. Of course, mix it up based on the options I mentioned outside. But if it was me, I'm running Gogeta, Golden Frieza, and Broly without saying. And then you just change the bench based on how you want it. So I think the HP buff is very, very necessary. It's going to be useful as well because Frieza has the comeback, you know. And then the Zenkai buff otherwise can go either way. So you don't even have to Zenkai buff Golden Frieza. You could actually double Zenkai buff Broly if you wanted to with 8 Vegeta. You could also double Zenkai buff Golden Frieza if you add Jiren, because the bench outside of Golden Frieza, everything outside of Golden Frieza, the leaders. I mean, everything outside of Gogeta Blue, so outside of the leader slot, is powerful opponents. So it kind of meshes with the previous team that I showed you. You just get the extra options of like Gogeta Blue and God Goku. But yeah, that's going to be sagas from the movies. It's also going to be a good team if you have the pieces. I don't know if it's going to be a super popular team when you could run the Fusion Warriors, like in general, just talking in general, but it's obviously going to be a team that works, assuming Broly's actually somewhat good based on how his kit read. His kit read looked very good. I'm also just concerned for his stats, but yeah, that's about it. Now we're going into some equipment. The legendary Super Saiyan equipment is a must. It's a must run. If you're running him, run this. Run this. You get HP, double offenses, so base, strike, and blast. Then you just get general damage inflicted for being a powerful opponent, which he will be, you know. And you get the special move, which is just icing on the cake, bearing in mind that he, as a legendary finish character, his legendary finish happens for his blue card, and his blue card does damage. So yeah, this equipment's a must. Like, get it if you haven't. Sagas from the movie Super Saiyan, and you can get it from the Ultimate Equipment Collection for normal sagas from the movies and Super Saiyan. Okay, so this equipment here, Awaken number 1. Now, I don't actually advise you necessarily grind this, but you might have this already for other reasons. The reason I say you shouldn't grind this because you're just losing out on the ultimate damage, but you do get a bunch of strike damage and it's only blast defense. But you can see the special move damage is very, very useful, 12.5%. This is where you get the memory, so Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush. But I had to actually scroll up here and find the, the unawakened version, so that you're going to need the unawakened version to obviously awaken this piece. Can my eyes find it? I found it literally a second ago. There it is. So you can see here the unawakened version is obviously a lot worse. It's specifically for Broly's, and you can get this from the equipment medal exchange shop. Naturally, for powerful opponents, this equipment here is going to be a killer. You can see uncontrollable anger. You get special move, ultimate damage on the first slot. Then you're going to get the pure strike and blast for your powerful opponents. 10% of both while getting some base defenses. It's obviously just for powerful opponents, and you can get this from the dual coin exchange shop. Depending on the team you're running, you could actually run this. So you're gonna see here, if you're running the type of team that's a Gogeta, it will be movie, so Gogeta and Goku alongside Broly, you'll be running 3 sagas from the movies members and also 3 Saiyan members, so you get 15% of both strike and blast. Then you also get HP, special move, ultimate damage. You're losing out on the ultimate damage because Broly doesn't have an ultimate. This equipment only works for Gogetas and Brolys. You probably don't have this. It's very difficult to get. It's not even available right now, the Awaken part. But if you have it, Historic Showdown, it's super, super good. I even have an unawakened version just to show you, but you can't get this either. The unawakened version is obviously a lot worse, 13%. You know, it's just not the same. You miss out on a bit. So yeah, if you do have the awakened version, I would actually recommend it, depending on the team you're running, of course. So if I'm running Golden Frieza, I don't get any of the strike pure, just to put that out there. If you're running Golden Frieza, this is a given as well. You might have this already, so you don't have to go for the powerful opponents one, but this is especially good if you're running movies, because not all your movies members might be powerful opponents, but you're running Golden Frieza. You get base strike defense, blast attack, strike attack, and pure of both up to 12%, which is dope. You can see it's for powerful opponent Lineage of Evil, so you can run this on Broly if Golden Frieza's there, but you also have Gogeta, you know, or God Goku, or whoever your third is, doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that you're running Golden Frieza. You can get this from the dual coin exchange shop. This one here is ultra specific, but it's nice because you get 13% special move damage. Now look at that first slot. You can see you have to get 13% of base strike defense and special move damage. In the Bonanza, I'd say possibly go for this, but outside of the Bonanza, you're going to have a nightmare trying to get a red slot or a yellow slot on this, or you're going to have to go the pay to win way and get those things in the shop that will allow you to upgrade the first slot, which is like, you don't want to do that anyways. But yeah, the second slot blast defense, but the third slot, what you're gonna want to get is the 6 to 12% strike attack when element green or purple character is a battle member, because you will be running probably Golden Frieza. So it works out. The memory you can get over here, I can tell memory number 1. You're going to need the unawakened version, which is right here. Sagas from the movies red. it's a lot worse, as you can see, but you can get it from the equipment metal exchange shop. But yeah, man, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I try my best to put together the best equipment and of course the teams available to you, and I didn't want to just show a leader slot team because I could obviously do that, but the leader slot teams would obviously be down to you. Also, just to emphasize again, it's very likely that they will drop new equipment or awakenings during the update on Wednesday when the unit drops, so be on the lookout for those. But that's all I've got to say for this video, man. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 100,000 subscribers. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one, man.